Do you have some research to do for an upcoming history paper or project? Does the thought of doing this research seem overwhelming or stressful? If you answered yes to either of these questions, first of all, you should know that you're not alone. Historical research can be a bit intimidating, especially when you're first starting out. However, the more you practice and the more you expose yourself to helpful tricks and tools of particular resources, the easier this research will become, I promise. My name is Alicia, and today we are going to be looking at how to find scholarly articles for historical research. To find these articles, we're going to be using a database called Historical Abstracts. Now, if you are new to Historical Abstracts, it is a database that covers the history of the world, other than the US and Canada, from the 15th century to the present. If you are researching either the US or Canada, you'd want to try America History and Life for your research. Historical Abstracts has been meeting the needs of students, faculty, and researchers for about 50 years now, and it indexes almost 2,300 journals that are written in over 40 different languages. We are going to start out by going to the library homepage of the University of Rhode Island, which is uri.edu/library. In the right column, you're going to see an option for Find Articles. We want to go ahead and select that, and it's going to take us to an alphabetical listing of all the databases held by URI, and we're going to choose H for Historical Abstracts and go ahead and open that up. So what we're in right now is the advanced search screen for Historical Abstracts. As you can see, if you wanted to start an account, you could come over here to sign in and open an account with Historical Abstracts. As you can also see on this page, there are 3 different search boxes for you to use as you build your search query. And you can also go ahead and add extra boxes if you need them. Now for our search, let's say that we're interested in finding out more about women and voting in the long 19th century. So in our first box here, we could put women. And in our second box, let's go ahead and put voting. And then notice that these words are joined by the word and. Now, basic words that join search terms are called Boolean operators, and Historical Abstracts offers us 3 different ones. It offers and, or, and not, so you can use those to build your search query. Now, there is one last part of our search query that we have not addressed at this point, and that is the time frame which we had set at the long 19th century. Now, this is where some of the special features for Historical Abstracts comes in handy. If you scroll down here, you're going to see that there is an option to put in what dates that we're looking for, the historical period. So we're going to put in 1789 and then mark CE, and then 1914. So these are the years that the long 19th century runs from. You'll see that in this section, there's also a lot of different options for how you could limit your results that you have coming in. So for example, we could put that we want only results that are written in English. I don't read fluently in anything else. And I do want to point out there's an option here for linked full text. You actually never want to select this option when you're searching at the URI in the URI databases. URI databases have this awesome feature where you can search across databases for the full text, and if you select this option right here for linked full text, it's not going to give you that option, which is called Search at URI. All right, so let's go ahead and run this search and see what we find. So the initial amount of articles that we're getting here is 228. Before we do anything else, the first thing we want to do is come over here to Date Newest. This is telling us how it's sorting the results, and we want to go ahead and hit Relevance. This is going to change the algorithm that the database is using to organize our results, so the most relevant materials are going to float up to the top. Now, in some fields of study like medicine or anything related to technology, you might need the most up-to-date information because their research evolves so quickly and often renders previous research irrelevant. However, history is not really one of those fields. Now, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and use this column on the left here to refine some of your results. For example, you could hit, if you just wanted peer-reviewed articles there, or we could hit academic journals here, so then we wouldn't have books and magazines popping up. Let's go ahead and try that. So that cuts out some of our results there. You could also go in here to subject. This is one of my favorite ways to limit what's popping up. And if you hit show more, you can go ahead and select different subject terms for to filter through this database in our search. Now let's go ahead and pop into one of these catalog entries. We can just do this first one here. Now, as you can see, this is giving us the title for the article here, and we have the author that's listed right here below, as well as the rest of the citation information. The catalog entry is also going to give us an abstract, which is really great. This tells you what the article is about. So let's say I looked at this and I decided this is a great article. I really want to use this for my research. You actually have several options at this point. You could go over here to PDF full text and you could read this article now or just download it. You could also use some of these features on the right to deal with this article. So you could print out this entry, you could email it to yourself. The citation option is really nice here. They have citations that are in different styles. I will say this is a really good starting point for citations. You do always want to compare this to a citation manual. You could also choose to export the citation to a citation manager like RefWorks. There's also an option in here that you could grab a permalink for this article. My favorite option, usually if I'm still researching it, is to actually just add the article to a folder, and then what happens is it adds it to a folder up here, and then you can continue adding stuff to that and just email that folder to yourself at the end of your research. So let's go back to our search results here. Now, we lucked out with this search and we had plenty of results, but what do you do when your search doesn't yield many? Well, first you might want to try brainstorming some other search terms. For example, I could have tried suffrage instead of voting. You might also need to tweak the terms that you have by using truncation. Truncation allows you to take the stem of a word and by using an asterisk search words that share the same stem. So we, for example, could take out the last 3 letters of voting and we could add our asterisks here. And so now this is going to search for voting, voters, votes, and see it increases the number of results that we're getting here. So that's really useful to use. So this actually concludes this tutorial on using historical abstracts to find secondary resources for historical research. During this tutorial, we have covered the scope of historical abstracts, creating a research query, special research terminology like truncation and Boolean operators, refining results, and accessing and saving articles. I hope this guide has given you some good ideas for your own historical research. Happy researching!